each Thursday night, he charmed his way into America's hearts, playing Bill Cosby's only son.
He wasn't just Theo. He was Malcolm, America's son, the laughter in our living rooms, the quiet strength behind decades of joy. But on July 20th, the light went out. His body was found floating off the coast of Costa Rica. The world barely had time to process the headline, Malcolm-Jamal Warner, dead at 54, before the shockwave shattered everything we thought we knew. And while fans wept and tributes flooded in, it was his mother, Pamela Warner, whose world crumbled completely. "Mrs. Warner, I'm so sorry. We did everything we could." Those were the words that broke her. She hit the floor, screaming, clutching the air like she could pull time back with her bare hands. "Not my baby," she sobbed. "Not my Malcolm." Her cries echoed through the hospital halls, a raw animal grief no one could soften. They led her to him, her son, her heart, now still beneath a white sheet. She could hardly move. Her legs buckled. Her breath came in gasps. The door opened, and there he was, too still, too quiet. She stepped closer, hands trembling, pulling the sheet back slowly, as though uncovering a cruel dream. But it wasn't a dream. It was her baby. The same boy who used to sleep on her chest during thunderstorms. The same boy who had called her just 4 days ago. "Wake up, baby. Mama's here," she whispered. "Please don't leave me." She kissed his forehead, cold but beautiful, held his hand like she used to when he was 5. Her sobs filled the sterile room, a sound that cut through the silence like shattered glass. Doctors turned away. Nurses wiped tears. No one could fix a mother's broken heart. "He was smiling yesterday," she whispered. "He said he was happy." But now, all she had were memories, a house full of echoes, his favorite coffee mug still by the sink, his scripts on the desk, unfinished, a hoodie still draped on the chair, and on his voicemail, "Hey, Ma, just checking in. Don't worry, you don't have to call back. I just wanted to hear your voice." That was 4 days before he died. She clutched the phone to her chest and sobbed. He reached out, and I didn't answer. The headlines spread like wildfire. Malcolm-Jamal Warner found dead in mysterious drowning. Tributes poured in from celebrities, former castmates, and heartbroken fans. But Pamela? She didn't light candles. She didn't post on social media. She just sat in his room, hugging his hoodie, whispering his name into the dark. Then came the questions. What happened? He was a strong swimmer. He'd grown up cautious, careful. The autopsy said he drowned. But there were bruises, internal, unexplained, signs of trauma, a dislocated shoulder. And suddenly it wasn't just grief. It was suspicion. Did he fall? Was it an accident? Or was something more sinister at play? "He was scared," Pamela whispered to no one. "I didn't ask why. I should have." Her words were almost lost in the wave of speculation. But to her, they were everything. She remembered the final hug, the longer-than-usual goodbye, the kiss on her forehead. Now she understood. It hadn't been just affection. It had been a goodbye he couldn't say out loud. And then came the footage that shook the world. Clips from old Cosby Show episodes began circulating. Theo and Claire laughing, Theo crying, Theo being comforted. Suddenly, every smile from Malcolm felt different, like a mask. His 2007 interview resurfaced. "I've spent my whole life playing the perfect son. The funny one, the good one. But sometimes I wish people knew how hard it was to carry that smile." No one had paid attention to that line before. Then the voicemail emerged, left just hours before he disappeared. "To everyone who ever believed in Theo, thank you. But the truth is, I never knew how to be okay." Not truly. Not fully. I hope one day people understand. Sometimes the ones who smile the most are the ones screaming the loudest on the inside. When Pamela heard it, she collapsed again. "Why didn't I hear it?" she cried. "Why didn't I see?" Outside her home, mourners gathered. Candles lined the sidewalks, Cosby Show DVDs, teddy bears, chalk tributes. Someone wrote, "Theo was all of us." Social media exploded. Hashtags like "Not My Theo" and "We Miss Malcolm" were trending in 30 countries. Bill Cosby, now disgraced and imprisoned, released a rare tweet that broke the internet. "I may be locked away, but hearing of Malcolm's death, I haven't cried this hard in decades. He was the best of us, the only one who never turned bitter. And now he's gone." Even his critics had to pause. Because whatever their opinions of Cosby, no one could deny the bond that caste once shared. News broke that Malcolm's ashes would be scattered off the coast of Costa Rica, the place where his body had been recovered. A candlelight vigil was planned. Fans flew in from around the world. And on July 28th, as the waves rolled in, Felicia Rashad, his TV mom, stepped into the surf, releasing a single white flower. Then it happened. A young boy, no older than 10, ran forward from the crowd. He looked just like young Theo. Tearfully, he wrapped his arms around Felicia and whispered, "He made me believe I was smart. That I mattered. That was it. No more words needed." Because that was Malcolm's legacy. Not just as an actor, but as a healer, a quiet giver, a man who helped millions feel seen while hiding his own pain. He gave everything, and in the end, there was nothing left for himself. Malcolm-Jamal Warner wasn't just playing Theo. He was Theodore, and Theo was us. Rest easy, Malcolm. We didn't know, but now we do. And we will never see a smile the same way again. The world may never know the full truth. But one mother was certain. Her son didn't just drown in water. He drowned in silence. The headlines screamed his name. The hashtags trended. The tributes poured in. But none of it mattered to Pamela Warner. Her world had ended in a cold hospital hallway, the moment someone gently touched her arm and said, "Mrs. Warner, we did everything we could." She heard those words in her sleep now, echoing like a curse. In her gut, Pamela knew what no official report could explain. Malcolm hadn't simply died. He had been taken. Whether by someone else or by the weight he'd been quietly carrying for years, she didn't yet know. But she was going to find out. 2 days had passed since Malcolm's body was pulled from the waters off the Costa Rican coast. And yet, time felt meaningless. She sat motionless beside her son's coffin, a ghost among mourners. Her once bright eyes were now hollow, dimmed by sleepless nights and tears that refused to stop. Around her, people whispered condolences. Pastors offered scripture. Celebrities sent flowers. But Pamela heard none of it. She was still stuck in that sterile hospital corridor, clutching the last words she'd ever heard spoken by a stranger about her son. "We did everything we could." But did they? She kept whispering to herself, over and over. "He just called me. He said he was tired, but he was okay." Her fingers clutched his old gray sweater, the one he'd worn the night before his trip. She hadn't washed it. She couldn't. It still smelled like him. Still held the warmth of the boy she raised, the man who had spent a lifetime being strong for everyone but himself. Questions tore through her mind. Why was he alone in Costa Rica? Who was he with the night before? Why had no one checked in on him? What was he running from? Online, conspiracy theories spread like wildfire. Some blamed drugs. Others hinted at foul play. Old interviews resurfaced, where Malcolm spoke of the pressure of fame, of isolation, of being seen but never truly known. A chilling picture was forming, not of a celebrity surrounded by love, but of a man quietly unraveling. And Pamela knew it too. She saw it before the world did. Just 2 weeks before his death, they'd had dinner. He barely touched his food. His smile never reached his eyes. And then, without warning, he'd looked up and asked her a question that now replayed like a warning bell. "Ma, do you ever feel like you're screaming underwater and no one hears you?" She had laughed it off, told him to rest, to pray, told him maybe he just needed a break. But now she knew. That had been the scream, and she hadn't heard it. When investigators unlocked Malcolm's phone, they found an unsent voice note, addressed to her. "Ma, I'm sorry. I know this might sound crazy, but I'm tired, not sleepy, soul tired. I smile on camera, but I'm fading. I just want peace. I don't even know what that looks like anymore." When the message played in the family's living room, Pamela dropped to her knees. Her cries weren't cries. They were howls, raw, primal, the kind that don't come from the throat, but from somewhere deeper, somewhere sacred. She clutched her chest, sobbing. Why didn't I see it? Why didn't I stop him? She kept going back to when he was just her little boy, quiet, artistic, sensitive. Fame had come too fast. One day he was running barefoot through her backyard. The next, he was Theo Huxtable, America's son. The world adored him. But did anyone truly see him? At his funeral, over 100 gathered. Friends, fans, castmates, producers. But only Pamela stepped up to the podium, trembling as she clutched a folded letter, one Malcolm had written when he was 12. "I don't know how to be famous, Ma, but I'll try. I just want you to be proud." She could barely finish reading. Her voice cracked. "He thought I needed him to be perfect," she whispered. "But the truth is, I just needed him. My son. Not the actor, not the image, just Malcolm." Then she collapsed again, falling to her knees beside the coffin, clutching the flag draped over it. The church erupted in sobs. No one was untouched. Even the strongest among them, Hollywood veterans, network executives, were weeping like children. Outside, the world watched it all live. The internet exploded. Clips of Pamela's speech went viral. Hashtags like #Justice for Malcolm and #He was crying. Two filled every feed. Celebrities and activists began calling for deeper conversations around mental health. But it was too late. The man who had given so much of himself, his smile, his spirit, his warmth, was gone. Back home, Pamela walked through a house that no longer felt like home. His laughter seemed trapped in the walls. His shoes still sat by the door. His toothbrush waited in the cup. His final script lay open on his desk, unfinished. That night, she crawled into his bed, clutching his baby blanket. She hadn't slept in days. Before she closed her eyes, she whispered into the silence, "Baby, if you're out there somewhere, I'm so sorry. I didn't know. God, forgive me. I didn't know." Then, even softer, like breath, "I would have taken the pain for you, every ounce. I would have drowned for you." The screen fades to black, but the silence isn't peace, it's devastation. The coroner's report only deepened the mystery. There was water in Malcolm's lungs, yes, but also bruises, a dislocated shoulder, and a sedative. Did he take it? Was it given to him? Was he pushed? Or had he finally slipped beneath the surface of years of pain? A voicemail surfaced, left for a friend 3 nights before his death. "I don't think I can keep doing this. I smile in every photo. I laugh in every interview. But inside, I'm drowning." That word again. And now, Pamela Warner sits in her son's childhood room, holding his journal to her chest. One final unfinished entry reads, "I just want to feel peace again." And the world finally begins to ask the right question. Not just how Malcolm died, but why he was hurting in the first place. Here is a 300-word rewrite of your deeply emotional narrative, preserving the intensity and heartbreak. Drowning. It was the word Pamela Warner couldn't stop circling in her son's journal. The same word the police used. The same word the world refused to connect with Theo Huxtable. But behind Malcolm-Jamal Warner's smile was a storm no one saw coming. At the private family vigil, Pamela held Malcolm's baby shoes in her lap. When asked to speak, she stood, trembling. "I raised him to know he was enough," she said, "but maybe the world only wanted him when he acted happy. Maybe we all failed him." Then she dropped the mic and walked away in silence. Felicia Rashad, his TV mom, was reportedly inconsolable. A crew member said she screamed, "Not my Theo," before collapsing into prayer. But the shock deepened when Malcolm's lawyer revealed a sealed letter written months earlier. "If you're reading this, I didn't make it. It wasn't one thing. It was everything. The pressure, the silence, the fear of fading. I tried. Please tell them I love them, especially Mom." Pamela collapsed in grief. Then came the darkest twist. Malcolm had been secretly filming a documentary about child star trauma. The footage vanished the night he died. Now theories swirl. Was he silenced? Pamela hasn't left her room. She plays old interviews, talks to the screen, still sets a place for him at the table. A viral video shows her shouting, "He wasn't a headline, he was my son." Outside his door, Malcolm's dog still waits. This wasn't just a death. It was a warning. A heartbreak no one saw until it was too late. He was the smile in our childhood, the calm in our chaos. Now his silence screams, "Let it break us. Let it change us. Let it be remembered." Rest in power, Malcolm. You mattered.